Welcome to Read and Learn English. Today I want to share my journey with you, a journey that started with fear and ended with confidence. My name is Aung, and like many people, I once felt afraid to speak English. At first, I couldn't even say hello without feeling nervous. But little by little, step by step, I learned to speak, read, and understand English. It was not easy, and there were many mistakes along the way, but each mistake made me stronger. In this story, you will see how I changed my life by learning English. You will learn the steps I took to go from being afraid to speak to becoming confident in my skills. This journey is not just about learning a language. It's about changing your mindset, growing with every challenge, and realizing that success doesn't come overnight. It comes through hard work and persistence. So, are you ready to start your own English learning journey? Let's dive in. Chapter 1. I couldn't say hello. I still remember that day. I was standing at my small shop, arranging the items like I did every day. A tourist walked in. She smiled and said, "Hello." Her voice was kind, but I didn't say anything. I froze. My heart beat fast. I didn't know how to answer. I just smiled and looked down. After she left, I felt so bad. Why didn't I speak? Why couldn't I say one simple word? That night, I could not stop thinking about it. I looked in the mirror and tried to say, "Hello," but it felt strange. My mouth didn't move right. I laughed a little, then tried again. I decided to change. I wanted to learn English. Not tomorrow, today. I asked my friend Deepak, "Do you know how to learn English?" He said, "Yes, I use an app on my phone. It's easy and fun." So I downloaded the same app. The first lesson showed pictures. Apple, cat, sun. I touched the screen and heard the words. I repeated them. It was fun. I felt like a child, but I didn't care. I was learning. Every day I studied for 10 minutes. I learned greetings, numbers, and colors. I loved the word hello. It became my favorite word. After 1 week, something amazing happened. Another tourist came to my shop. I looked at her and said, "Hello." She smiled and replied, "Hello." My heart jumped. I felt proud. That night, I told my parents. My mother smiled and said, "You are learning. Keep going." Her words gave me strength. I made a small plan. I wrote English words on paper and put them around my room. Door, chair, window. I saw the words every day. Slowly, I started to remember them. I also listened to English songs. I didn't understand all the words, but I liked the sound. I watched videos with subtitles. Some words were new, but I learned a little every day. Sometimes I forgot words. Sometimes I made mistakes. But I didn't stop. I told myself, it's okay to make mistakes. I will try again tomorrow. 1 month passed. I could say simple things like, "Good morning," "I like tea," and "Where are you from?" People noticed. Deepak said, "You are getting better." That made me smile. Now, I wasn't afraid to say hello anymore. I was on my way to something new, and I was just getting started. Chapter 2. My first English word. The first word I truly learned was friend. I saw it on the app, and it stayed in my heart. I asked Deepak, "What does friend mean?" He smiled and said, "A friend is someone who helps you and makes you happy." I looked at him and said, "Then you are my friend." From that day, I wanted to learn more words like friend. I made a new goal, 100 English words. I started small. I learned words like sun, food, happy, cold, book, and tree. I wrote every word in a notebook. I made drawings. I also used small paper cards. I put them in my pocket. On the bus or during lunch, I took them out and read them. My room turned into a classroom. I put stickers on everything. Door, table, bag, light. I said the words every time I touched them. I also talked to myself. I woke up and said, I open my eyes. I brushed my teeth and said, I brush my teeth. I knew I sounded funny, but it helped me remember. At night, I read the words again. I said them out loud. I said, I can learn English. I smiled when I said it. One day, a man came into the shop. He said, Good evening. I smiled and said, Good evening. How are you? He said, I'm fine. And you? I said, I'm good. Thank you. It was short, but I felt like a star. I went home and told my family. My father said, You are learning fast. I felt proud. I also changed the language on my phone to English. It was hard at first, but I learned a lot. I looked at menus, messages, and settings. Every word taught me something. Some days were hard. I felt tired, but I always said, one more word. That became my rule, just one more word each day. By the end of the second month, I knew over 150 words. I used them in small sentences. I want tea. This is my pen. He is my friend. One night, I had a dream. I was speaking English in the dream. I woke up smiling. Even my mind was learning. Learning English was not easy, but it was not impossible. I was getting better, day by day. Chapter 3. The Power of Practice. Learning English was still hard, but I found something that really helped. Practice. I learned that small actions every day make a big change. I told myself, practice is the key. So I made a plan. Every day, I would spend 30 minutes learning English. I called it my English time. In the morning, I read one small story in English. Sometimes I did not understand everything, but I read it again. I underlined new words. Then I used my phone to find their meanings. In the afternoon, I listened to one short video. I chose easy English videos with subtitles. I listened carefully and repeated the words out loud. I copied how they spoke. I wanted to sound like them. At night, I wrote in my notebook. Just simple things. Today I went to the market. I saw a dog. I am happy. I checked my spelling. I used the new words I learned that day. I also talked to myself in English. I said things like, I am hungry, or, where is my book? It felt strange at first, but then it became fun. One day I had an idea. I recorded my voice speaking English. I said, Hello, my name is Aung. I like to learn English. When I listened to it, I laughed, but then I did it again the next day, and again. My voice started to sound better. After 2 weeks of daily practice, I felt different. I could think in English, not always, but sometimes. I could make small sentences faster. I started feeling more confident. I didn't miss a single day. Even when I was tired, I still practiced for 10 minutes. I said, something is better than nothing. One day, Deepak asked, How are you improving so fast? I said, I practice every day. Just 30 minutes. That's it. He said, Wow, that's smart. It wasn't magic. It was just daily work. I didn't try to learn everything in one day. I learned one small thing, again and again. I understood something important. You don't need to be perfect. You just need to be consistent. That's how I got better. One word, one sentence, one step at a time. Chapter 4. Making English Friends. One day I saw a poster in the market. It said, Join the English Club. Speak, learn, grow. I smiled. This was my chance. That Sunday, I went to the English Club. It was in a small classroom near the library. I walked in and saw 10 people sitting in a circle. Some were students. Some were shopkeepers like me. All of them were learning English. The teacher, Mr. Roy, welcomed me. He said, "Let's speak English together. Don't be afraid." We started with simple games. One was called Name and Word. We said our name and one English word we liked. I said, "Aung, friend." Everyone smiled. Then we practiced short conversations. "What's your name? Where are you from?" I was nervous at first, but everyone was kind. When I made a mistake, they helped me. Each week, we met and talked. We shared stories, played word games, and laughed. Sometimes we sang songs in English. Sometimes we acted in small plays. I met a new friend there, Anita. She was also learning English. We started talking outside the club, too. We sent each other messages in English. We helped each other with homework. Mr. Roy gave us a small rule: only English inside the club. At first it was hard, but soon we all tried. Even when we forgot words, we smiled and kept going. The club gave me more than just English practice. It gave me support. It gave me confidence. I learned new words from my friends. I learned how to speak slowly and clearly. I also learned how to listen better. One day, Mr. Roy said, "Aung, your English is improving. You speak with more confidence now." That made me so happy. I started helping new members. I said, "Don't worry, just try. Speak a little every day." I knew the feeling of fear, but now I also knew the power of trying. The English club became my second home. It was not just a place to learn. It was a place to grow. And with every meeting, I felt one step closer to speaking English well. Chapter 5. Talking Every Day. One day, I looked at my notebook. I had written many new English words. I could read small stories. I could understand easy videos. But I still had one big problem. I didn't speak English every day. So I made a new goal: talk in English every day. At first, it was not easy. I had no English-speaking friends at home. My family spoke our local language. My neighbors did too. But I told myself, if I want to speak well, I must practice every day. I started small. I talked to myself. In the morning, I said, "Good morning, Aung. Today is a nice day." While cooking, I said, "I am making tea." At night, I said, "I am tired. I will sleep now." It felt strange at first, but I got used to it. I smiled when I spoke. Even if no one listened, I kept going. Then I had an idea. I went to the English club and said, "Can we make a speaking group on the phone?" Everyone liked the idea. We made a group on a messaging app. Every night we had a voice chat for 10 minutes. In the group, we asked questions like, "What did you do today? What is your favorite food?" We helped each other. We corrected small mistakes. No one laughed. We were all learning. One day, Anita asked me, "What is your daily routine?" I spoke for 3 minutes. She said, "Wow, your speaking is better now." That made me happy. I also went to the market and tried to talk to tourists. I said, "Hello, can I help you?" Some tourists smiled and spoke slowly. I listened carefully. I answered the best I could. One woman from Canada said, "Your English is very clear." I said, "Thank you, I am learning." We laughed. It felt so good. I started recording short videos. I talked about my day in English. I watched them later and checked my mistakes. Sometimes I said the wrong word. Sometimes I forgot grammar. But I didn't stop. Every day, I spoke for 10 to 15 minutes. Some days, I spoke more. I used new words from my notebook. I made short sentences and tried to say them clearly. Slowly, speaking English became normal. I didn't feel scared. I didn't feel shy. I felt proud. Talking every day made a big difference. My English became smoother. My words came faster. I could speak without stopping, and I learned something important. If you want to speak well, speak every day. Even small talk helps. Chapter 6. My first English video call. After 3 months of practice, something exciting happened. My cousin Ramesh called me. He works for a big company. He said, "Aung, we have a job call next week. It's in English. Can you join and help?" At first, I was scared. A video call? In English? That sounded big, but I said, "Yes, I will try." All week I practiced. I learned work words like meeting, price, delivery, and order. I asked Anita to help me with speaking. We did role plays. She asked questions. I answered in English. I also practiced how to sit and speak on video. I looked in the mirror and said, "Good morning. My name is Aung." I smiled. I checked my voice. I checked my internet. Finally, the day came. I put on a clean shirt. I sat in front of my phone. I joined the video call. There were 3 people on the call. 1 was my cousin. 2 were foreign buyers from the UK. My cousin said, "This is Aung. He will help us today." The buyer said, "Nice to meet you, Aung." I replied, "Nice to meet you too." They asked questions about t-shirts, prices, and delivery. I answered slowly and clearly. I said, "Our price is $5. We can send the order in 2 weeks." Sometimes I didn't understand a word. But I asked, "Can you say that again, please?" They said it again, slowly. I understood. The call lasted 20 minutes. I spoke 10 times. I didn't make many mistakes. At the end, the buyer said, "Good job, Aung. Your English is clear." After the call, I felt so happy. I had done it, my first English video call. And it went well. I told my parents. They smiled and said, "We are proud of you." I told Deepak. He said, "Now you are a professional." That night, I sat alone and smiled. I thought, if I can do this, I can do anything. This small video call showed me something big. My English was working. My hard work was working. I was not perfect, but I was growing, step by step. Chapter 7. Mistakes made me stronger. Every day I was learning more English, but I still made mistakes. I sometimes said the wrong word. I forgot grammar. I mixed past and present tense. Sometimes people laughed. Sometimes I felt bad. One day I said to a customer, "You come tomorrow?" He looked confused. I wanted to say, "Will you come tomorrow?" I smiled and said, "Sorry. My English is still growing." He smiled back and said, "No problem." That small moment made me think. Mistakes were not bad. They were signs that I was trying. But not every day was easy. One day at the English club, I gave a short talk. I was nervous. My hands were shaking. I forgot a word in the middle. I stopped. Everyone looked at me. I wanted to sit down. But then I took a deep breath and said, "Sorry. Let me try again." I finished the talk. People clapped. Mr. Roy said, "Good job, Aung. You didn't give up." After that, I made a rule for myself. Mistakes are okay. Quitting is not. I started keeping a mistake book. Every time I made a mistake, I wrote it down. Then I wrote the correct way beside it. For example, I am go to shop. I am going to the shop. Every week, I read my mistake book. It helped a lot. One day Anita said, "You are brave, Aung. You don't hide your mistakes." I smiled and said, "Mistakes help me grow." I also started asking people to correct me. I told Deepak, "If I say something wrong, please tell me." At first, it was hard to hear corrections, but then I saw my English improve faster. Slowly, I noticed something. I was afraid of speaking before. But now, I was not afraid of mistakes. In fact, I wanted to make them, because they helped me learn. Some days were still hard. Some words were still confusing. but I remembered why I started. I wanted to speak English to help my family, to grow and to dream bigger. And with each mistake, I became stronger. Chapter 8. English opened new doors. One morning, I got a message from a friend. He said, "Aung, there's a new shop looking for a helper. You need to speak English. Do you want to try?" I felt nervous, but I said yes. I went for the interview. The manager spoke in English. He asked, "Can you talk to foreign customers?" I said, "Yes, I practice English every day." He smiled and said, "Let's try 1 week." That job changed everything. At the shop, I met people from many countries. I spoke English all day. "Welcome. How can I help you?" "This shirt is on sale." "Thank you. Have a nice day." In the beginning, I was slow. But after 1 week, I was faster. The manager said, "Good job, Aung." I also started getting ideas. I thought, one day I can open my own shop. I made a notebook called My Business Dreams. I wrote in English, sell clothes online, start a YouTube channel, teach English. English was not just a subject now, it was a tool. It helped me work, dream, and connect. I started reading more. I read blogs, short stories, and simple news in English. I learned about other countries, new products, and business ideas. I joined a free online course in English. The teacher was from Australia. She spoke slowly and clearly. I learned new words like customer care, promotion, and startup. I wrote them all in my notebook. At night, I talked to my family. I told them, "English is helping me do more in life." My mother said, "We are proud of you." My father said, "Keep going." One evening, I stood on my rooftop. I looked at the sky and smiled. A few months ago, I was scared to say hello. Now I was speaking to customers, joining courses, and writing dreams. English had opened new doors, not just work doors, but doors in my mind, doors to new places, new people, and new confidence. I knew I still had more to learn, but I also knew I was not the same person anymore. I was growing, and my journey was just beginning. Chapter 9. Helping my family learn. 2. As my English improved, I started to notice something. My family wanted to learn too. They saw how much I had changed. They saw how English was opening new doors for me, and they wanted to be part of it. One evening, my sister Priya said, "Aung, can you teach me some English? I want to learn too." I smiled. "Of course, Priya," I said. "Let's start." I remembered my first days of learning. It wasn't easy. I made many mistakes, but I also learned by practicing every day. So I thought, I will teach my family the way I learned. I started with simple things. I taught them the alphabet and basic greetings. Hello, how are you? Good morning, good night. We practiced together every night. It was not easy at first. Priya struggled with some words. She said, "I cannot say this word." But I reminded her, "Don't worry, we will practice. Every day, a little more." I made flashcards for my mother and father. I wrote simple sentences on them. I am Aung. I like tea. You are my family. We practiced reading and speaking the sentences aloud. My father worked hard all day, so he didn't have much time. But every night before bed, he would ask, "What new words did you learn today?" I said, "Today, I learned how to say banana." He laughed and said, "Can you say banana for me?" I said, "Banana." He repeated, "Banana." We both smiled. I also made a small English time for us. Every evening, for 15 minutes, we spoke only in English. I would ask simple questions like, "What did you eat today?" or "What's your favorite color?" My parents were nervous at first, but soon they started to enjoy it. Priya asked, "Aung, How do you remember so many words? I told her, I write them down, and I practice every day. We all started learning together. My family began to understand simple English words. Priya could say, I am going to school, and my father could say, I like this food. They made small mistakes, but they were happy. One day, my mother said, Aung, I understand you when you speak in English. I can talk to you. That made me proud. My family was learning. They were part of my journey now. Helping my family was not only about teaching English, it was about sharing something important. I had learned the value of learning and growing together. It made us closer. Chapter 10. Your turn to start. Now I want to share with you the steps that helped me learn English. If you are ready to start your journey, these steps will help you. I know they worked for me, and I believe they can work for you too. Step 1. Start small. When I started, I was afraid to speak, but I didn't stop. I started with small words. I said hello every morning. I learned simple sentences like, I am Aung. Don't worry about being perfect, just start. Step 2. Practice every day. English is like a muscle. You have to exercise it every day. Even if you practice for just 10 minutes, do it every day. Speak to yourself, read a book, write a sentence. Practice makes you better. Step 3. Make mistakes. Mistakes are okay. In fact, they are good. They help you learn. I made many mistakes in the beginning, but each mistake taught me something new. Don't be afraid of mistakes. Embrace them. Step 4. Speak with others. Speak English with your friends, family, or online. If you can't find anyone, speak to yourself. But talking to others helps you learn faster. They can help you with your mistakes, and you can help them too. Step 5. Be consistent. Consistency is key. It's not about learning everything in one day. It's about learning little by little. Keep a routine. Speak, read, and listen every day. You will see the results over time. Step 6. Listen and watch. Listen to English songs, watch English videos, and try to understand. Start with simple things, like children's shows or songs. It will help you hear the sounds and rhythms of the language. Step 7. Stay positive. Sometimes it may feel hard. You may feel like you are not improving, but stay positive. Keep going. Believe in yourself. Every day is a step forward. Step 8. Enjoy the journey. Learning English is not only about the destination, it's about enjoying the process. Celebrate your small victories. When you speak one sentence in English, celebrate. It's a big achievement. You don't need to be perfect. You just need to keep going. Step by step, word by word, you will get better. I believe in you. This is your turn. Start now and enjoy the journey. You will learn English in your own way, just like I did. As I stand here today, I am no longer the shy person I once was. English has opened many doors for me, both in my work and my personal life. I can talk to people from all over the world, and I have the confidence to chase my dreams. But more than just a language, English has taught me valuable life lessons. To be patient with myself, to learn from my mistakes, and to keep pushing forward no matter how hard things get. Learning English has brought me closer to my family, helped me find new opportunities, and given me a voice I didn't know I had. And now, it's your turn. You have the power to start your own journey. It might be tough at first, but if you keep going, you will succeed. Remember, the most important step is to start. The rest will follow. Thank you for reading my story, and I wish you the best of luck on your own English learning adventure.